Good afternoon, everybody. Shall start with our paper number 7, inorganic chemistry, under which there are 5 units involved. The first unit is a coordination chemistry. Second is a chelation. Third is a P block elements. The detailed study is expected. Fourth is a chemistry of D block elements. We are going to study the first series of elements today, and the fifth unit is inorganic semi-micro qualitative analysis. I would like to refer here that as per COVID-19 pandemic situation, university has deleted this topic named as inorganic semi-micro qualitative analysis. So in this semester 4th, we are going to deal with only 4 units: coordination chemistry, chelation, P block elements, and D block elements. Today we are going to study the D block elements. As we know that periodic table is classified into 4 blocks. The block that is present on extreme left hand side, what we call as S block of the periodic table. I'm going to show you while sharing the slide during the course of this discussion. The block that is extremely right hand side of the periodic table, that is known as the P block of the periodic table, which includes the zero group elements, what we call the inert gas elements or noble gas elements. In between S and P block of the periodic table, a separate block is there which comprises of 4 important series of elements, that is a 3D, 4D, 5D, and 6D. All these series I am going to show you during my screen sharing. And one more separate block is there, that is known as the F block of the periodic table. So periodic table is classified into 4 blocks: S, P, D, and F, as we know. As the D block of the periodic table, which is present in between S and P block of the periodic table, as it forms a transition between the following and preceding elements, and hence the word transition is used. So the word transition means in between. Transition is nothing but in between. So those elements which are present in between S and P block of the periodic table are known as the transition elements, or what we call as a D block elements. So both the words are almost similar, either D block elements or transition elements, both meaning the same. Now, if we see the periodic table, just I would like to show you the screen here, then you will come to know how the D block elements are situated here. Here, just now I have discussed that it is these 4 series, 3D, 4D, 5D, and 6D series, which are enlarged here. So this is a 3D series of elements. This is a 4D series of elements. This is a 5D series, and this is a 6D series. These are the 4 series of D block elements are known as the transition elements. The series is named as the 3D series because in the first series, the new electron or incoming electron that gets added to the 3D orbital. Similarly, in the second series, the series is named as the 4D series of elements. The incoming electron enters here the 4D orbital. Similarly, here, this is except to lanthanum, hafnium to mercury. Here, all these elements are named as a 3rd series of elements where the incoming electron enters into 5D orbitals. And the last, that is the 4th series of elements from Rutherfordium to UNH. Here, this series does not contain more elements. Our study is restricted to the first series of elements, that is scandium to zinc. Hence, I am not going into details of other series. Now, if we see the next slide, Here, it is seen that again the same series has been shown here. This is known as a scandium to zinc, that is atom number 21 to atom number 30. This series is known as the 3D series of elements. This is a 4D series of elements which starts with yttrium atom number 39, which ends with cadmium atom number 48. Then, except to lanthanum, because this forms a separate series, that is lanthanum and this actinium, those are included under a block elements. So from hafnium atom number 72 to mercury atom number 80, this is a 5D series of elements. And here rest series which contains among only 4 to 5 elements. So the elements from the group third B to second B, so or group third to 12, these are included under the D block elements. So a MCQ type of question may be asked sometimes that D block elements comprises of groups from 2. So third group to group number 12. All these groups, they commonly referred as the D block of the series. Now see here, first series 3D, 4D, 5D, and 6D. So just now I have mentioned that all these elements, they are named according to the preferential occupancy of either 3D, 4D, 5D, or perhaps 6D electronic subshell. So the definition of transition element is that the elements which contain partially filled or partly filled either 3D, 4D, or 5D, and perhaps 6D already, all those elements are known as a D block elements, or what we call as a transition element. So here I have shown this blue colored block that indicates that all these elements are transition elements. Now, what are the characteristic features of all these transition elements that we have to study? These elements are also, if we see, they are almost colored elements. Secondly, they show different magnetic behavior such as paramagnetic and diamagnetic. They are having also medicinal applications. Say for example, copper is used in the treatment, cobalt is also used in the treatment of cancer, and so on. They also show variable oxidation state. So they are not stick up to only one oxidation state, but they show different oxidation states. They are having different coordination numbers, that is coordination number 2, 4, 6, and so on. Depending upon the coordination number, they also show different geometrical shape. For example, if it is coordination number 2, then linear geometry, coordination number 4, either square planar or tetrahedral, and coordination number 6, for which the octahedral geometry is expected. And one more activity that is shown, that they also show certain biological activities. So these are the some interesting characteristic features of these transition elements. Now I will stop this screen sharing, and I request you all that you take up your notebook, because if we work out during my lecture period, then it is very easy for you to understand very easily all these parameters. So I'm going to show you how the first point that I'm going to cover is electronic configuration. So you can take the rough notebook with you, so that it is very easy to understand. The first point that I'm going to cover is electronic configuration, because today we are having successive two lectures are there. After the time is over, that is for about 45 minutes. So around 1:45, this link will be closed, and you have to click the same link to join once again for my second lecture. So I'm going to show you how the electronic configuration of transition elements can be studied. See here. I think all of you have taken your notebook with you. Every day I will not ask you to take your notebook. You should be with your notebook during this Zoom meeting. So first point that we are going to cover is electronic configuration of the 3D series. That is the first series of elements known as the 3D series. This series is very simple to study, and hence for this purpose I have chosen a very simple topic at the first time. Now, to arrive at the electronic configuration of scandium atom number 21, first of all, one should know the electronic configuration of the elements having atom number 1 to 20, and then we shall begin with atom number 21. So, you have to write in your notebook. As we know, hydrogen atom number 1, electronic configuration 1s1. Then second member, atom number 2, it is having the electronic configuration as 1s2. Third member, atom number 3, it is having the electronic configuration that 1s orbital is filled at helium, and one more electron is to be added, that is the next higher energy level available after 1s is a 2s. So this is a 2s1. Then atom number 4 is of beryllium, Be. We have to write the electronic configuration as like this, 1s2 and 2s2. Just we have to add one more electron into s orbital. Now, after 2s orbital is being filled completely, the next choice for incoming electron will be 2p. So atom number 5, boron, electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2 and 2p1. So this is the electronic configuration of boron. Then atom number 6, carbon, electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2 and 2p2. Total number of electrons are 2 plus 2, 4 plus 2 is 6. So next member, atom number 7, nitrogen, electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2 and 2p3. So 4 plus 3 is 7. Then eighth member is oxygen, electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2 and 2p4. Total number of electrons should be tally with the total atomic number that corresponds to the total number of electrons present in the atom. Then fluorine, atomic number 9, electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2 and 2p5. Fluorine is a seventh A group element that is known as a halogen or halide element. Atom number 10 is of neon, atom number 10, electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. So neon is having 8 electrons in its outermost orbital. That is, condition of 8 electrons is referred as an octet. So now onwards, that is atom number 10. If we try to write the electronic configuration of next element, that is sodium, in terms of this, we can write this as like this, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. And next choice for incoming electron will be 3s1. Now, here the same electronic configuration can be written in terms of neon core as like this, neon 3s1. That means 10 plus 1, that is equal to 11, which is electronic configuration of sodium. Then atom number 12, alkaline earth metal, magnesium. In terms of neon, we can write this electronic configuration as 3s2. Then after magnesium, atom number 13, in terms of inert gas configuration, that is neon, the 3s orbital has been completely filled, 3p1. So 10 plus 3 is 13. Then silicon, atom number 14, in terms of neon core, we can write this as 3p2. Incoming electron should be added into p orbital because the maximum occupancy of p orbital is of 6 electrons. So unless p orbital is filled with 6 electrons, we should not move to the next energy level. Then member number 15 is a phosphorus. In terms of neon core, we can write this as a 3s2 and 3p3. 10 plus 5 is 15. Then sulfur, atom number 16. In terms of neon core, we can write this as 3s2 and 3p4. Now, after sulfur, next element, atom number 17, is a chlorine. In terms of neon core, we can write this as 3s2 and 3p5. And after chlorine, next element is argon. In terms of neon core, we can write this as like this, 3s2, 3p6. So 10 plus 8 is 18, which is an inert gas element, argon. Now after argon, we can write the electronic configuration of the preceding elements by taking the argon core. For example, potassium, atom number 19. In terms of argon core, now after the complete occupancy of 3p orbital, next choice for the incoming electron will be 4s. So 18 plus 1 is a 19, which is nothing but the electronic configuration of potassium alkali metal, that is the first A group element. Then after potassium, atom number 20 is of calcium. In terms of argon core, we can write this as 4s2. So 18 plus 2 is 20, which is nothing but the electronic configuration of argon. Now, up to atom number 20, as we know, we are aware with the electronic configuration of the elements starting from atom number 1 to 20. Just we have to add one more electron so as to arrive at the electronic configuration of the first member, that is a scandium. Now, if we try to write the electronic configuration of scandium, atom number 21, in terms of argon core, we can write this as the next choice for incoming electron will be 3d orbital. So the 3d orbital after calcium, 3d orbital is having low energy as compared to 4s. For this reason, I have written the 3d orbital first before 4s, because 4s orbital is filled at calcium. So just we have to add how many electrons? Argon means 18 plus 2 electrons from 4s. So this becomes 20. Just we have to add one more electron in its d level. So for scandium, the electronic configuration is argon 3d1 4s2. So on similar grounds, we can write the electronic configuration for all these elements. So again, now we have to prepare one tabular form for the observed electronic configuration of all these elements. So you have to prepare the tabular form in your notebook like this. The electronic configuration. Many times this electronic configuration has been asked for a long question, and you have to discuss the electronic configuration of 3D block elements. So you have to prepare the columns like this. First column is of atomic number. Second column is a symbol of the element. Third column is the name of the element. And last column is the observed electronic configuration. Observed electronic configuration. So you have to prepare these 4 columns. First column, atomic number. Second column, symbol. Third column, name of the element. And last column is a observed electronic configuration. I am telling you repeatedly, because all the properties we are going to study in due course of time. Those properties are wholly depend upon the electronic configuration. Once you know the electronic configuration, then it is very easy to study all the related properties. So if you cannot write this electronic configuration in your notebook, then it is next to impossible to study the 3D series. Now, first of all, we shall finish all the atomic number, the symbol and name of the elements. Then we can arrive at the observed electronic configuration. So first member having atomic number 21, its symbol is Sc, name of the element is scandium. you have to write the first member, atomic number 21, symbol is SC, and name of the element is scandium. Then total 10 members are to be studied by us. The second member is a titanium, having symbol Ti. Name of the element is titanium. Then atomic number 23, symbol is V. Name of the element is vanadium. You have to write it is a vanadium. Then atom number 24, you have to write the symbol as Cr. Name of the element is chromium. Then the central element having atom number 25, symbol is Mn. Here you have to write the name of element is manganese. Manganese. Sometimes it is seen that students write this Mn as a magnesium. Don't write magnesium because magnesium is a second A group element, which is an alkali metal, and manganese is a D block element. So there is a large difference between manganese and magnesium. Don't make confusion. Then sixth member, symbol is Fe. Name of the element is iron, or if you want, you can write this as a ferrum, 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 from which the symbol Fe is derived. Then 27th member, it is a CO. You have to write C capital and O small. The name of the element is cobalt. Then atomic number 28 is a nickel. Symbol is Na. The name of the element is nickel. Then the ninth member, it is a Cu, capital C, small u. Name of the element is copper. And the last member having atom number 30 is known as the zinc, having symbol Zn. So this is how we have enlisted all the 10 members from atom number 21 to atom number 30, that is zinc. So the series of elements in which there is an incomplete or partially filled d orbitals are present, all such elements are known as a 3D block elements, or the elements belonging to 3D series, because the incoming electron or new electron that gets added up into 3D electron subshell. So now we have to arrive at the observed electronic configuration of all these elements. Now to show the observed electronic configuration, we have to write in terms of argon core, argon 3D 4s. While writing the electronic configuration of all these elements, we have to just write 4s2, which is filled at calcium, and one more electron to be added in 3D. So 18 plus 2 is 20 plus 1 is 21. So this you have to write in your notebook. Then the second member, argon 3D 4s. No question about 4s. You have to write directly 4s2. Then 3D 2. 18 plus 2 is 20 plus 2 is 22, which is the electronic configuration of titanium. Now, after titanium, next element is vanadium. The electronic configuration in terms of argon core. No question about 4s, which is filled at calcium. 18 plus 2 is 20 plus 3 is 23. So vanadium is having the electron configuration as argon 3d3 4s2. Then come to chromium. In terms of argon core, we have to write this as here the electronic configuration as per above principle. Here we have to write this as 4s2. 3d4. But because 3d and 4s orbital are very close in energy gap is very, very small. So one of the electron gets exchanged with the 3d orbital, and hence the electronic confusion becomes like this. So instead of 3d4, it becomes 3d5, and instead of 4s2, it becomes 4s1. This element we have to mark with the asterisk sign, because when the d orbitals are half filled, when the d orbitals are half filled, some extra stability is associated with such half filled orbitals. So to offer extra stability corresponding to completely half filled electronic subshell, the exchange of electron takes place. Here I am showing only 10 minutes are left. So after 10 minutes, we are going to conclude, and you have to rejoin with clicking the same link. Now, come to the central element, that is manganese. In terms of argon core, we have to write again at manganese, the continuous electronic build-up of electrons in 4s begins, that is 18 plus 2 is 20 plus 5 is 25. So manganese is having 3d5 configuration. Now come to iron, that is atom number 26. In terms of argon core, we can write this electronic configuration as 3d and 4s. Just a minute. Now, at iron, the electronic configuration 4s2, that is 18 plus 2 is 20 plus 6 is 26. Now, come to cobalt, atom number 27. In terms of argon core, we can write this as a 3d and 4s. 18 plus 2 is 20 plus 7 is 27, which is a electronic configuration of cobalt. Then nickel, atom number 28. In terms of argon core, 3d 4s. No question about 4s, which is filled at calcium, 4s2, and 18 plus 2 is 20 plus 8 is 28, which is the electron configuration of nickel. Now, after nickel, atom number 29 is of copper. For copper, again we have to write 3d and 4s. Now here, again there is a disruption at copper. As per this continuous build-up of electronic confusion from chromium onwards, here the observed electronic confusion should be like this, 4s2 and 3d9. Because 3d and 4s orbitals are very close in energy, so again one electron gets exchanged with 3d orbital, and promotion of such electron requires very less amount of energy, and hence the electronic confusion becomes 3d10 4s1 instead of 3d9 4s2. Again, we have to apply one rule that completely filled orbitals have extra stability. So half filled orbitals are also having extra stability, that is a d5, and completely filled orbitals, that is a d10. These orbitals have extra stability. So the exchange of electron takes place because to offer extra stability associated with completely filled orbitals. Now come to the last element, that is our zinc. In terms of argon core, we can write this as 4s2, 18 plus 2 is 20 plus 10 is atom number 30. So this is the electronic confusion of zinc. Now you have to mark this copper also by an asterisk sign. So we have marked two elements by an asterisk sign. Here in your notebook, you have to write like this. extra stable elements. Which are those? Atomic number 24, chromium. Atomic number 29 is the copper. They are having D5 or D10 configurations respectively. So D5 means completely half filled orbital and D10 means completely filled orbitals. They offer extra stability to the corresponding atom or ion, and hence all these elements, they do possess the stable electronic configuration, but chromium and copper, they offer extra stable electronic configuration to the copper or chromium atom in its ground state. So the drastic feature of this electronic configuration is that at calcium, just now we have seen that the forest orbital is filled at calcium. So after the forest orbital has been filled completely at calcium, the next choice for incoming electron will be 3D orbital. So we have started to fill up the electrons in 3D orbitals. But at chromium, because of small energy gap between 3D and 4s, so the one of the electron is exchanged with the 3D orbital, and hence observed electron configuration becomes a D5 instead of D4. Again, after chromium, the continuous filling of electrons by 3D orbital takes place very easily. But again, at atomic number 29, the electronic configuration according to above principle should be 3D9 and 4s2. Again, for the same reason that the 3D orbital and 4D orbitals are very close in energy, because the energy difference or energy gap is very, very small enough. So one of the electron is exchanged with 3D orbital so as to give extra stability associated with completely filled electronic subshell. So while writing the explanation for the electronic configuration of 3D block elements, you have to write the extra stable electronic configurations which are offered by completely half filled and completely filled, that is a chromium and a copper having atom number 24 and 29 respectively. They offer extra stability associated with half filled orbitals. So this is the first point that we have covered in this aspect, that is the electronic configuration. While writing the electronic configuration, much more stress is to be given on these 2 points, that is extra stability associated with completely half filled and completely filled electronic subshell which offer extra stability. So only 2 minutes are left. I am going to conclude here, but again you have to rejoin after 2 minutes